This is my second video about the 70mm Dashcam recorder, and today I'm going to be talking about installation, voice control, ADAS, the Advanced Driver Assist Program, and the files that the Dashcam creates. I'm afraid that the sample images I promised will have to wait till the next video because of a small problem I ran into, but I'll explain that in a minute. Installation was quite straightforward, although I did end up needing a little bit of help. Before I did it, I was a bit concerned about the adhesive. They don't use a suction cup, it's just stuck on. And because it's very hot in Thailand, I was worried that the unit might just fall off the windscreen. However, when I did it, I found out they use a very, very strong adhesive, and falling off isn't going to be a problem. The only trouble is that when you're installing it, you only really get one shot. If you put it on wonky and then want to take it off and put it back on again, you're going to have a really hard job getting that adhesive off. The power in this car, I've got two 12-volt outlets. This one here, that's got a voltmeter and a USB adapter at the moment, that's only live when the ignition's on. There's another one down here which is live all the time. And at first I wasn't sure which one to use. There are advantages and disadvantages with both. With this one, you don't have to worry about turning the unit on and off because that's automatic whenever you turn the engine on and off. However, if you want to use the parking surveillance, you can't because you've got no power when the engine's switched off. So I decided on this one, but I also decided to wire in a switch as well, so I can turn the unit on and off at will. And when I use my GPS unit, I use these two sockets because I only use it temporarily when I'm going somewhere that I don't know. It's not there all the time. But the Dashcam is going to be permanent, and I don't want it permanently plugged into one of these sockets. So what I did, I just wired in some extra sockets underneath the dash, which are out of view, so it makes for a neat installation. And doing that wasn't too bad. There's a plastic cover here you can take off to get access to the wiring. I just bared the installation a little bit and just soldered some wires onto existing wires. That really wasn't a problem. The only problem I had was getting the cable tucked into the headlining and down the A-pillar. I have no experience of this, and I have no tools either, so I just went to a local shop that does audio installations and paid a guy a few bucks to do that. And because he's got the experience and the tools, he did it very quickly. So really the installation is quite straightforward. The voice control seems to work quite well. Before I bought it, I wasn't sure how many voice commands there were, but there seems to be only 4. So firstly, I can say turn off screen.
The display is off.
And it turns off. And I can say turn on screen.
The display is on.
And it turns back on. I can say take picture.
Photo taken.
And it takes a JPEG image, a still image. And I can say record video.
Start recording emergency video.
And that's the emergency video. What this does is that normally the videos are 1 minute. And when you do an emergency video, it gives you an extra 30 seconds. And the other nice thing is it stores the emergency videos in a separate folder, which are much less likely to get wiped. Whereas the normal stuff will get wiped quite frequently. And there's 3 ways you can take an emergency video. You can use the voice. You can use the voice command like I've just done. You can press this little flag button on the unit, or in the event of a collision, there's a motion sensor within the unit, and that will automatically take the emergency video. As I explained in the first video, the GPS module doesn't do quite what I was hoping it would do. What I was hoping for was to see longitude and latitude coordinates on the video so I knew where I was, but it doesn't do that. All it does is enables the Advanced Driver Assist system, and all that does is gives you three functions. Firstly, there's a lane departure warning. It will also tell you if, when you're stationary, it will tell you if the vehicle in front is moving, and there's a collision warning. Now, when I took the car out for the first time yesterday using the system, I wasn't really impressed. The only time the lane departure told me anything was when I did deliberately change lane. And when I deliberately change lane, I don't need to be told about it. And in 40 years of driving, I've never had a problem drifting out of lanes. So that was pretty useless. Secondly, when I was waiting at traffic lights, it would tell me when the vehicle ahead moved off. But I knew that anyway. I've seen some women waiting at red lights and they start to put on their makeup and they don't notice the lights have changed. It might be useful in that case, but it's not really useful to me. And thirdly, if I'm driving in a way that I'm about to have a collision, I don't really need the dash cam to tell me that. I know I'm driving like an idiot. So I'm quite sceptical about the ADAS functions, and I'm regretting a little bit buying the GPS module. Although it wasn't expensive. It was only, well, I live in Thailand, it was only about 500 baht. But if I was buying the system again, I wouldn't bother with GPS. The 70mi writes into 7 folders. When you take a still image, a JPEG image, it goes into this folder. And regardless of the size of your SD card, there's a 100 photo limit. So once you go past 100, it then starts to write over the oldest files. The emergency videos go into the events folder. And again, there's a limit, but it depends on the size of your SD card. So the bigger your SD card, the more emergency videos you can have. It's quite nice that they're in a separate folder. One of my concerns was that important videos might get overwritten, but if they go off into a separate folder, there's a lot less chance of them being overwritten. And these folders are just for normal and parking surveillance. There's no limit as such, it just depends on the size of your SD card. So the bigger your SD card, the more files you can have before stuff gets overwritten. Now, yesterday, when I came back after the first day using the dash cam, I had a bit of a problem. I looked in these 2 folders and I could only see videos in the _S folder. And what it seems to be is that in the event and the event _S, it's exactly the same videos, but this is high quality, high resolution, and this is low quality. Same for normal and parking. So the files in the normal folder were sort of between 81,000 kilobytes to 122,000 kilobytes, and in the normal S they were just 20,480 kilobytes, a lot less. So although I could view them, the image quality was bad, and I couldn't view the high resolution ones. And the reason for that was because I just left the default settings in the dash cam, and that uses the H.265 codec, and none of my software can decode that codec. So what I've done now, I've switched it back to H.264. So now I should be able to see the high resolution videos. This is entirely up to you. If you have software that can use H.265, or if you want to go through the process of converting every file, use it. But I don't want to go through that conversion process. I don't want to buy new software, so I'm just using H.264. H.265 is better. It's better quality and smaller file sizes, but I just haven't got the software to use it. So what I'll do now, I'll just end up by showing you some low resolution video from this folder. And once I get some decent footage using H.264, the high resolution stuff, I'll post another video with some sample videos.